Now, after schema binding, it's time to discuss a couple of restrictions which you should remember while creating a view. A view cannot include the order by clause unless there is a top clause in the select statement. So if you try to write a select statement with an order by clause, it would basically give you an error message and it will not allow you to create the view. But as you know that the select statement can have an order by clause which essentially sorts the result set. But when you try to create a view with an order by clause, it will throw an error message. But if you go for a top clause with the order by clause, you will be able to create the view, but otherwise it will not allow you. Then the second restriction is inside the view you cannot refer a temporary table or a variable. If you try to refer a temporary table, it would throw you an error. So let's see some examples about these restrictions. Now we would be discussing about altering and dropping a view. Altering essentially means modification to the object. So altering a view essentially means modifying the view definition. But please note that the permissions associated with a view remain unaffected. For example, if somebody is having access to execute a select statement against the view, then the permissions associated with him would not change even if you altered the definition of the view. And to alter a view, you would have to go for the alter command. So the syntax is very simple. It's alter view and view name as the new definition. Similarly, you can also drop a view by executing a command called drop view name. So if your view name is vw test, then if you would like to drop the view, you would have to go for a statement called as drop view vw test. Now I will be demonstrating altering and dropping a view so that it will be more clear. If you would like to read the contents of a view, you could go for a procedure called sp_help text. sp_help text is a system procedure which helps you to read the contents of a view. So if you want to read the contents of a view, or if you want to know the view definition, what you could do is to execute a statement like sp_help text and the view name. But if the view has been created with an encryption option, then the contents of the view is not at all viewable. Similarly, if you would like to locate the view dependencies, then you could go for a system procedure called sp_depends. So if you go for a statement like sp_depends view name, it lists the objects on which the view depends. So we have come to the end of the first session, and the second session on views would concentrate on instead of triggers. I would demonstrate a scenario where the insert operation would fail, and to solve that I would be going for a mechanism called as instead of triggers. I would also be talking about various options in detail, like check options in views. I would also be demonstrating the access control using views. You must have remembered that I was talking about a scenario where we would be restricting a couple of users to access data from a particular column in a table, and we will restrict other types of users to access from the other columns from the table. So that kind of access control we can have inside the views. For example, the employees of the HR department should have access to the columns which are belonging to HR department. Similarly, the finance users would have the access to the columns which are belonging to the finance department. So in reality, this kind of concept is very common, and that's why this kind of restriction is of valuable importance, and Vue provides that kind of privilege in the database world. And I would be demonstrating the access control using views in more detail in our second session. Thank you very much for attending this first session on views. All the best, and I wish you good luck.